I'd like to talk a little bit about what the roles and responsibilities of Catholic media are in a crisis like this. So on one end, it could be, you could see yourself as kind of the bishop's bodyguard, where you're there to defend the church and protect its good name. On the other end, you're kind of really a thorn in the side of the bishops, but maybe in a negative way, where you're constantly attacking them and telling them that they're not measuring up. Maybe explain to me your personal or publications theory on, or philosophy or viewpoint on what is the role that Catholic media plays in these types of crises. Whoever wants to go first. Sure, go ahead.
Okay. I was thinking of something as Greg was speaking about my expectation at the beginning of this whole crisis. And I expected the secular media to, after those reports in July, to dig even further. I expected them to kind of find out more about what was known when. I remember telling my staff, don't worry, this will come to light. I mean, because we didn't have the investigative resources to find that out. We try, and occasionally we are able to break something too, but we were looking for ways of finding out who knew what when about adults, about misconduct with adults and these settlements, and were there more? Because we heard rumors. So how do we get people on the record? How do we do this? And I expected the secular media to actually get more than they did. And that was kind of surprising to me. And so sometimes I think that it is partially the role of those who know the church very well, and hopefully Catholic media and the professionals who work in the Catholic media know the church very well and can know the right questions to ask, to try and inform our audience. And sometimes that is what seems to be a defense of the bishops, when we have to say that no, the Pennsylvania jury report is not completely accurate, and the bishops have done something. So sometimes it seems like a defense because we're getting at the truth because we've seen it, we've watched it, we know the church, and we know what they've done. And other times it requires us to push back on the bishops and say what more is being done. And one of those areas was in the area of seminaries. What's being done in the seminaries to take care of those who have been harassed within the seminary setting? Are there proper responses and all of that? That was a question that we were trying to ask. That was a question I think America was also trying to ask. That can appear very aggressive to the bishops and to the seminaries, but it's a question that must be asked in this context. So, those are two examples of practical examples of what we have to do day in and day out. The Catholic media love the church. I mean, our primary role is to lift up the church in some ways, is to help the church be who she is. And Dan Burke, who is the director of EWTN News, which the Register is a part of, likes to say that the Register's work is redemptive journalism, which means that we have to cover the cross. I mean, we have to cover the trouble and the scourge that we're in right now, but hopefully to see a resurrection. And knowing that all of this is not simply an institution, but something that Christ founded and ultimately involves our relationship with Christ. And so it's a complicated role that the Catholic media play, because we are believers, we are affected personally, but also we are seeking to be professional journalists and take this very seriously.